You know, it was a story that many of you will remember watching on our news. A popular professor, Stevenson University, was killed and her two boys critically injured when a truck driver fell asleep at the wheel.
If ever a story needed to be made into a book, it's this one, the Slattery story. It's about surviving trauma, finding forgiveness, and even a purpose in the wake of a crushing loss. It was written by our very own Brian Kubler. The title is called The Long Blink, but it is an eye-opener. 9 years in the blink of an eye.
I want the world to know.
And it will, in The Long Blink, written by our award-winning reporter, Brian Kubler.
I wanted to do justice and honor by the Slattery family, and I wanted the topic and the issue to really grab people. And for that, it needed to be really well written, and I poured over a lot of those lines.
Each sentence carved out spells out a bad decision by a trucker who fell asleep at the wheel, barreling into Ed's wife's car, killing her and punishing his then 12-year-old son.
It hurts every day because I have to look at my son, who's now 21, not doing any of the things he should be doing, and knowing that he's never going to do them.
Brian brings to life the love between Ed and his wife, Susan. You will read Dear Susan letters throughout the book.
The love that Ed and Susan had and have, and how he expresses that in these letters, is just something that I think people have to read.
And under moonlit nights or foggy mornings, Ed will get that tap on the heart.
Literally, I say, okay, sweetheart, I need you.
But for the rest of time, this man needs his dad. You'll read about community spirit toward Ed and his family.
My friends sat with Matthew from 4 in the afternoon until 6 a.m. for 6 months, simply because I asked them to do that.
The most gripping part of the read is when they travel west to meet the trucker face to face.
I said, listen, I've done thousands of these interviews as a reporter. I can tell you unequivocally this was the most challenging and incredible interview I've ever conducted.
If he walked up to me today and said, Ed, I am sorry for what I did, I would give him a hug and I'd say, you are totally, absolutely, unequivocally forgiven.
Ed feels the trucker never woke up that morning destined to destroy lives. Ed doesn't cry anymore. He's out. He's tired. Still, I press him to the last time he found a tear.
When he graduated from high school, when he walked across the stage with his walker, and I just found an empty room and cried for 30 minutes.
And now they did it. They put out a book to talk about the changing course of history for this family, the trucking industry, and the government.
I want the change that Ed wants. I don't, and I've always said this, and it's in the introduction of the book, I've never been a reporter that really wanted to change the world. I just wanted my journalism to inform those that can.
Well, the lines Brian writes will not allow you to blink, especially at the end.
The ending is something no one will see coming. And I didn't see coming. I don't think Ed saw coming. And that interview was, I'll never forget that interview.
Words that the world needs to know. And by now you know the love Ed has for his son, who is enduring the long blink.
I'm incredibly proud of him and just love him to death. We're pals. We're kind of joined at the hip.
Joined at the hip. Again, the Long Blink comes out tomorrow, and that is also when you can join Brian and Ed as part of the Enoch Pratt Library's Writers Live series.
The two will be on stage at the newly restored Central Library downtown tomorrow night at 6:30, and they will discuss the book and even the story behind the book.
You spend any time with Ed Slattery, and you look at Matthew, and you pick up this book and you read their lives now. What it used to be, what it is, and what it will become is unbelievable. Brian does an incredible job with this. And let me tell you, the Ivy Bookshop will also be selling copies of Brian's book right after the event. And if you buy the book, you're going to support the Slatterys, he has it's a farm in his backyard, and he raises the food and he brings it to people that need it the most. So he's always giving. Ed and his family always giving back.
And the early reviews, even though it hasn't officially been released, have already been very, very positive.
Yeah.
So check it out.